Hey, book club besties. From Scrubs to Book Club, we're two burnt-out healthcare workers who love to yap about books. I'm Katie.
And I'm Star, and welcome to Aimless Attention Podcast.
Today, we get to cover my favorite book of all time, A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. So if you are just now joining us, 2026 is the year of SJM for us at Aimless Attention. We are covering every single currently published SJM book. We just finished Throne of Glass, and we moved into ACOTAR in the month of July. And now we are in ACOMAF. So it will be potentials for spoilers, especially for ACOTAR, since that's what we're talking about today. But Throne of Glass is always on the table. Same with Crescent City if we do have anything that comes up, because they are all interconnected series outside of everything. So just that's your spoiler warning going ahead. And Star's going to keep me from talking way too much about this book because I could talk for hours about ACOMAF.
I think everybody can.
It's so good. I guess out of the entire ACOTAR series, I would say this is generally most people's favorite.
Yeah.
I also like A Court of Rings and Ruin. And then I think A Court of Silver Flames is another one that tends to be a high up. It really depends on if you're a Feyre or a Nesta type person as to where things rank. And I think you're more of a Nesta. So, but I'm a less of a Feyre and I'm more of a Rhysand girly. So I think that's why this is my book.
Which is kind of funny, but now that you said that, I think my mom is like a hardcore Nesta, and I think like I'm just like, oh my god, like she reminds me of my mom.
Let's get into this. As if you watched our ACOTAR episode, I said multiple times, all roads lead to ACOMAF, because they do. In my mind, everything's like, just get me to ACOMAF because I want to be here. I want to live in this world forever. There are 3 parts to this book. The first is part 1, which is the House of Beasts. Obviously, we know ACOTAR is a Beauty and the Beast type book,
which I didn't know that until you brought it up, and then I was like, oh, I can see it. I don't know why I'm so dense to this shit. Like,
well, SJM loves her fairy tale retellings.
Yeah.
We see that with Throne of Glass starts as a Cinderella retelling as well. I don't think Crescent City fits that vibe very well. I don't know what fairy tale Crescent City would be. Maybe Therian is a Little Mermaid.
And I'm gonna think this out, because now that you've said it, I'm like, it is though. I can picture it, but I can't think of what it would be. So I almost have to go back and be like, let me go dig through my.
Yeah, like I said, it's Therian.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
She like falls through that stupid cavern thingy to like get to the other side to become who she is.
Maybe.
I'm going to go home and
Doing
look,
the jump,
because I fucking love Crescent City. And I'm over here like picturing all the things. I'm like, okay, what could that mean? Because like it never occurred to me until you brought it up. And I was like, oh yeah, okay.
We'll have to have you report
Tamlin's
back.
the fucking beast. But like, no, I'll have to like, no, I'm going to go home. Then I'm going to think about all the stupid fucking fairy tales. Because I'm good with Disney. I'm like, give me. So,
you know, Tamlin is the beast. And I think the SJM did such a good job. Like I've mentioned the Call Her Daddy interview multiple times in our ACOTAR coverage. But what I think SJM did such a good job with is when she started ACOTAR, Tamlin was going to be that love interest. And then Rhysand walked on the page and she went, oh shit, who's this guy? And then that was the end of Tamlin going to be the love interest at that point. But I loved how ACOTAR ended. And I knew from being on Book Talk Rhysand who she ended up with, but I genuinely finished ACOTAR going, how does she end up with Rhysand?
right?
Without the context of ACOMAF, you don't get to see all of the like inner workings of Rhysand and how protective he really was of Feyre under the mountain until later on when you see in this book. So
yeah,
let's get into it. So my first thing is I call it Feyre's Nightmares and Tamlin Stupid.
I just love the Tamlin stupid.
Because Tamlin is stupid.
I know.
Your fiance, his fiance at this point, is puking her guts up every night, is visibly unhealthy looking. And he's like, oh, well, at least she's here and I can fuck her and then leave every night, because it's not like they're sharing the same bed. And even if he does fall asleep in her bed, he's like just sprawled out naked and she's out in the bathroom puking and he doesn't wake up. She dreams about Under the Mountain, which is understandable. This is Feyre's trauma journey, is dealing with the aftermath of Under the Mountain. And I think SJM actually does a really good job with trauma journeys.
Yes. But Under the Mountain, man, that was a whole fucking like
crazy.
It was insane.
So we'll get to see the introduction of my least favorite character probably ever, other than Tamlin, is Ianthe.
I didn't hate that person so much. I'm not going to say that they were great, but I mean, like,
I felt like she felt manipulative from the beginning. Like from the get-go, something didn't feel right about Ianthe. She didn't listen to Feyre. She kind of became like a confidant for Feyre, and Feyre sought comfort in her. But I definitely like you can tell that Ianthe's like always wanting to do something to better herself in some sort of way. She wants the limelight on her at all times. Feyre is also dealing with the dickheadedness of Tamlin when he's like, no, high ladies don't exist. Like, what are you? Like, because she was like, what am I to you? He's like, well, you'll be my wife and my consort or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't love the way he like, I don't know. I don't know how she ended up thinking he was going to be, if this is the way he was going to grow to be as a person. I mean, I guess Beast kind of turned in from an asshole to a nice person.
Yeah.
But Belle had to put up with a lot to get there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Farrah had the patience for it.
No.
Because when you get later into her like journey, like she definitely was never going to put up with that bullshit.
No, and I think that the part of it too is that the Feyre that enters the spring court to begin with in ACOTAR is so, I mean, she's not a meek human, but she's still a human in a Fey realm, and she's 19 years old. She's very naive and is just kind of trying to acclimate to everything. And while she is strong-willed, she's not nearly as strong-willed as she is until after Under the Mountain. And Under the Mountain really was the test of seeing just how strong she can be and how capable she is. And she cheats death in the end. She dies and comes back as a Fey. And so her whole world has changed. She's now full Fae. She's learning how to use her new body. She's got Tamlin, who is so terrified of losing her that he just locks her away basically all the time. And to be honest, like for somebody who had to take care of other people for all of her life, now to all of a sudden have someone to be like, no, you're not allowed to have any freedom that you used to exercise all the time because I'm scared, doesn't fit.
Yeah.
The big thing that happens during this part, though, is the wedding. So Feyre's having a hard time with the wedding in general. She's not really sure if she wants to marry Tamlin, as she knows that, but she doesn't want a big ceremony. She doesn't want the big poofy dress. She doesn't want the roses that are red. And
this is a sign that you don't want to get married, which I should have seriously, as we're sitting here talking, I'm thinking this should have been my sign, because my wedding was very small, very intimate. Mm-hmm. I did not want a whole bunch of shit. I did not want a whole bunch of flowers. I think there was like 8 people in my whole wedding.
Yeah.
Like, but I wasn't like jumping up and down either. Like, you know, like, are you supposed to be like excited to get married? Like, even if it's small and intimate, most people are still like, oh my God, I was like, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I had, when I got married, people always talk about how nervous they are to get the day of their wedding or like the cold feet or anything like that. And my husband and I both agree, like the stress all came from planning it. And then once it was the day of and everything had been decorated and we knew that the caterer was showing up and like everything was fine, I was just happy to be marrying him. And I had like no qualms about getting to the aisle. I didn't have any of that. Like I was never like concerned I wasn't making the right choice or wasn't happy about what was going on. I was just genuinely like, oh my gosh, all of my favorite people are going to be here while I get married. So like,
no, not me. I was definitely like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, I never had that experience.
I was literally saying I do looking at the ground.
You're like, oh no.
I have pictures where you're like, this is me. I do. And then I was like, what was I doing? Like I was so in love with my husband. I was looking at the ground.
Yeah.
And nobody thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. Like,
and Feyre is visibly...
And my husband was looking at the ground too, by the way. I wasn't the only one.
Like, both
so
of us
obviously we were real excited to marry each other.
But Feyre also, when she's walking down that aisle, is like terrified.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, you shouldn't be like, this should be a red flag number 1. Your family should be running out and being like, no.
Well, and none of her family's
I know,
there,
but I'm saying, like,
but also Tamlin, who is supposed to be the love of her life, should recognize she's upset.
Something. Like, he should recognize something. There should be
that there's
some
something
like
going on, and he doesn't say anything until she literally stops walking and is like, and she's just standing there, and in her head she's going, help me, somebody please help me. And then that's when Rhysand shows up, because Rhysand hadn't called in his bargain, and Rhysand's like, oh, I'm here to take you away, favorite darling. And I was like, yes, Rhysand, come save her. Again, on a reread, that's how I feel. On the first bit, you're like, because Tamlin takes a whole 180 when you start this book.
Yes, but also when Rhysand shows up, you're like, who is this asshole and how dare he take her from her wedding?
It's true.
This is the first time you read it.
Yeah.
The second time you read it, you're like, oh my God,
like,
thank you for saving me. Like,
it's true,
you were too long. I actually started walking before you showed up. Mm-hmm. Like, literally. But in the moment, when you're first reading this, you're like, who the fuck? And how dare you? Like, this is her wedding day.
Yeah, it's true. Like, on the first read, you're like, why is Rhysand here? Like, he's just now deciding to do this. But it's true that, like, he could hear her, and he's felt her have these internal struggles this whole time. He feels every time she has a nightmare, and he's in the night court, can't do anything about it. And the saddest part is that Rhysand has just like resigned himself to be like, if my mate could be in love with somebody else and be happy, then I'm fine with it. Which is such a big difference between him and Tamlin. Tamlin's very like, I love her, this is what I'm gonna keep, and doesn't give her any like independence, whereas Rhysand's like, I would just be happy you're alive.
He's out like, don't look, baby, while I go fuck all these women in this weird, I don't remember what it was, like the bonfire situation. He's like, shh, go back into your corner, honey. I'm gonna go fuck all these fairies.
I have to go reinvigorate the land with my magic. The whole spring court is weirdly archaic.
I know,
like
but
weird.
I'm just saying, like, he just, I don't know. I feel like he was just like, shh, go back over there. Close your eyes. As I was reading this, though, I was like, he's the big bad wolf, huh? So we're mixing up multiple stories. So maybe Crescent City has multiple different, like, it's Alice in Wonderland and something else.
Yeah.
Because the big bad wolf shows up. I'm like, is that even Disney, Katie? I was like, I guess it's fairy tale-ish,
Well,
but
so
that's not even like.
Technically, Disney did do a Silly Symphony version of the Three Little Pigs, which does have the big bad wolf in it.
I'm just saying.
So technically, you could say it's a Disney reference. And if you go on the ride at Disneyland for the Storybook Land Canal boats, you do pass the
but my
Three Little Pigs
thought
house
was how many different, like, you got the Beast and Beauty, you've got the big bad wolf. Who else do you got in here? What's his name? Oh my God,
Lucian.
I was like,
What is Lucian? I don't know.
He's a troll.
He's a fox.
Fox in the house.
He's a fox in the house. And everyone's just sobbing every time he comes on screen.
Oh my God.
But so she gets whisked to the night court, but she goes to the Hewn City first because that's what everyone knows the night court as.
Yes.
Would you rather live in Valaris or the Hewn City?
Valaris. I don't. This is like terrible.
Not in the Hewn City, but like the palace above the Hewn City.
Valaris.
Yeah, I'd still want to live in Valaris.
But I don't know. I still thought Valaris was like part of the Hewn City, so now I'm like.
Yeah, so the Hewn City lives in that mountain. That's what Under the Mountain was based off of.
Yes.
And then above it, built into the mountain, is the castle, the palace, which I think is just beautiful white marble and like flowing gauzy curtains.
I totally like.
So I think it would be beautiful to visit. I can see why Rhysand wouldn't want to live there. But yeah, so that's like her introduction to the night court.
It's not really his like. I had to be honest. I picture Rhysand as like Elvis.
A little bit, maybe. I could maybe with the hair.
Like maybe like him when he was like in his 20s, not like old Elvis, but like young Elvis.
Yeah.
But I've seen pictures of people's like their drawings, and I'm like, that's not what I picture. Like,
there's times where I'm like, he's too angular.
I feel the same way. I just got it not the only one. I'm like, no.
I think he's like really built.
Yes.
And like, I mean, he's got a jawline for days, but like, I think he's not so like angular and like thin. I still think he's like really built because he's a warrior too. He's an Illyrian warrior. But she goes to the night court, and she's first of all like, fuck this place. And Rhysand's like, I just want you to eat food.
Yeah.
I want you to meet more. And he pretty much leaves her alone for the most part, other than to say, like, I want you to train because you very clearly have the abilities of all the High Lords, which Tamlin has been like, no, she's not training. And then he's like, you need to learn how to read because that's something that almost killed you.
Love this. Yes.
And she's like, oh, I hate this. But he really gives her space to kind of deal with stuff on her own. And she actually fills out for the 2 weeks that she's living with him and everything. And she relaxes and stuff. But she gets introduced to the fact that there is a war coming with Hybern. And she's like, okay, I don't know what my place is in all this. And he's like, I think you could be a valuable asset. And that's kind of the first time that Feyre gets told that by a High Lord, particularly.
Right.
Is that I think you could be useful other than to be like this thing that just like sits on my side and looks pretty. Hey, you tell I hate Tamlin.
You know, I mean, but some women want to sit on their side and look pretty, okay?
Yeah.
And in some courts, that's normal. Like, you know.
It's true. And so with this whole conversation with her, with Rhysand, she's like, Tamlin's not my keeper. And then Rhys is like, he sat on his ass for 50 years and then sat on his ass while you were shredded apart. Like, fuck this guy. And she's like, trying to defend the fact that she's, it's her fiance, but also she's kind of like, yeah, he's kind of fucking right. Like
that would be rough though, to be like, he sat on his ass, and you're still trying to defend him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So when she gets back home, she immediately tries to fuck Tamlin because she's like, this will fix all of my weird conflicting feelings I'm having is to sleep with Tamlin. And Tamlin's like, I need you to give me information because now you're my spy. And I'm like, Tamlin, like, for the love of God, could you make like one positive decision at all?
No.
Which he won't for this entire fucking book.
Because he's a little insecure little ass. Like
he is, and he will not move past the like archaic things about the night court, or not about the spring court, which are like the tithe, the fact that
some of that stuff is crazy though. Like just like the fact that he's like they have to, and she's like, but do they like?
I just
they're
picture
like dying over here, and you're like, they have to. And
well, how many people were trapped under the mountain? The spring court was like saved or whatever from it because Amarantha was in love with Tamlin, and Tamlin didn't do jack shit for anybody.
He should end up with her. Like he should just go.
I know. I still think that Amarantha and Tamlin were mates.
I know. It's kind of an interesting.
I am convinced, but at the same time, like the spring court has been overrun with Amarantha's like creatures, and so like it's not really been a prosperous time for the last 50 years. So it's like saying, hey, the Great Depression just ended, give me more taxes. It's like I need more of your money.
Welcome to America.
I know, right?
I'm like
welcome
you
to
said it, and I'm like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
I still need to have you give me your jewels and your gold, and then I will charge you double if you don't give it to me within 6 weeks and stuff. And then Feyre, like the water wraith, comes up, and Feyre goes and gives her her jewels, and Tamlin's all angry. He's like, you cannot undermine me, blah blah blah. It
ends up being a great decision. And is the water wraith? Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, that's nothing to do with Crescent City, right? It's not the same.
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think there were water wraiths in Crescent City.
So what was the water guy?
He was like a merman. I think he was a merman.
I'm like, aren't they? I swear to God, it was
they were the mer people.
The mer people.
Yeah. So I don't think it was specifically a wraith, because I think Tharian is more of a, because he has legs, right? He walks.
Yeah, but how does she get up to land?
Does he walk sometimes, or is he just always in the water? And I'm forgetting.
I have to reread the book.
We will reread it.
No, but I'm just sitting here thinking.
He does because he has to go
thought
into
he
water.
Walked, but how does she walk up to the thing? Like,
oh, because the wraith is more like an amphibian. Is my thought. I picture
really
him more like frog people.
I need to really start researching my like mythical creatures.
Yeah. I picture it more as like a frog kind of character.
Okay.
Just like elongated, I guess, and like walks in like their little web feet.
We're gonna have to see where she goes with this.
But Feyre gives her the jewels. He throws a fit. Then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then gives her paint, which she's like, "I don't want to paint."
Because again, what do assholes, abusive men do?
I know.
Here, baby, I fixed it for you.
I hate this. And then she tells him,
which is weird. SJM does a great job of making you like really be like. She does it in another book too. I think it's Thorn of Glass, where like they're complete assholes to her, wasn't it? What's his name? The captain of the guard. Why am I blinking his? Yeah, I was like, look at his name. I was like, I can picture who he is. Like, just can't get it. Where he does like something similar to her. He's like, oh no, but hold on here, I love you, but I really don't. Like, she does a great job of abusive men, but isn't her husband supposed to be like really fucking amazing?
Her husband's Rhysand.
Which is crazy. Did she date horrible fucking men before she? Because I'm like, girl, you can write a horrible man real too easy.
She does a really good job, unfortunately. And
like, maybe that's how she knew her husband was the right one.
Yeah. She's like, I based Rhysand off my husband, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Right?
But she tells Tamlin that she feels like she's already drowning, and he just keeps shoving her head underwater. And Tamlin's like, rah, and like throws a whole fit and like breaks a bunch of stuff. And then he comes back and he's like, hey, I'm really sorry.
No, like, and then, he went fucking crazy. Like, fuck him.
Yeah,
like,
he blew up.
He's the guy that like punches a hole in the wall and then pretends like he didn't.
Exactly. And she protected herself with a wall of air. And that was another one of those instances where her magic came out and she has no control over it because, again, Tamlin won't let her train. Lucian keeps being like, maybe it's a good idea she trains. And he's like, no, we're not training her because then they'll come looking for her or whatever.
I don't know. I like Lucian. I think he's the only reason why Tamlin doesn't fucking probably get beat to death.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he does protect him quite more often than he needs to.
It's true. But after that apology, Rhys-Anne shows up the next day and she wakes up to Tamlin and him arguing. And Tamlin's like, I'm going to figure out how to break this bond. And then Rhys is like, yeah, good luck with that, buddy. And so then he whisks Feyre away. And again, he's like, hey, you're losing weight. Like, and she realizes it because she puts on her night court attire and she's like, oh, this is like loose on my hips and stuff. And she's like, oh, I'm only sleeping well when I'm here, and I'm only eating well when I'm here. And I'm like, I wonder why that is, you dumb bitch.
Oh my God. I mean,
again, this is we just had like a whole rage podcast that we filmed, and this one, it's really just the first third of the book that I get really irritated, and it's because Tamlin's in it.
It's hard not to want to rage out on this book though, because you're just like, are you kidding? Like abuse. Like you're like red flag walking.
Yeah.
Like you're just like want to start screaming at her. I don't know. It's hard not to like want to like choke somebody and be like, how do you not like?
If I was an illiterate 20-year-old, I think I wouldn't mind being taught how to read by writing. Rhys-Anne is the most handsome High Lord.
Your little notebook is full of what's Rhys-Anne's
Rhys-Anne is
last
the
name?
most cunning High Lord.
What is it? What's her name? Farrah. What's Rhys-Anne's last name?
He doesn't have a last name that we know of yet.
It's no fun.
SJM knows
it's no fun to not be able to write Farrah, the High Lord
She still
of
goes
Night
by
Court.
Farrah Archeron later on.
But you know what I'm saying. You know how you always change your last name to whatever his last name is when you're in your little notebook, you're scribbling your name together.
Yeah. And then the next time she goes back home is when Tamlin does his full freak out and locks her in the house. And she blows up, uses every single power she has, and actually melts the engagement ring off of her finger. And that's when Mor comes and rescues her and takes her back to the Night Court for good. Rhys takes her to the Hewn City initially. When she wakes up, he's like, you know, if I show you this, you can't tell anyone. And this is at this point, like, I'm trusting you to show you this important thing. And he takes her to Velaris. And then we're in part 2. The House of Wind. And this is where ACOMAF starts becoming like just my favorite book of all time.
Well, this is when the boys are arguing in the other room.
Yeah, they're all
and I was
she's
like,
standing
who
in the
the
townhouse.
fuck is this? Like, I was excited to get to meet them, but I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, this sounds like his brothers. But I thought like blood brothers. I thought like, I didn't realize like, I mean, they're brothers. But I mean, like, I thought like two parents, you know, created a bunch of kids and these little assholes were outside the door like, come on, Brody.
I think
wake up.
Really cool about SJM is that you can get multiple books into her stories, and then all of a sudden you have your favorite characters have appeared.
Yes.
Like Cassian and Azriel and Mor all coming in, and Amren.
Yeah.
All appearing in ACOMAF are really who we start loving. The inner circle is like the heart of these stories.
Yeah.
And so the same happens with Throne of Glass. Like Heir of Fire, once you meet Rowan, you're like, oh my God, I love Rowan. Like
I didn't love Rowan when I met him. I was like,
Rowan.
who is Rowan?
But you did like Adian, and that's when we also meet Adian. So like there's
No, but I mean like when I first met Rowan, like on reread, I was like, okay, I see where Katie was going with this. But the first time I met him, I was like, no, he punched her, Katie.
Same with
like,
Manon.
Oh
Like-
my God, Katie, he was abusive. But
I
then I
know.
was like, okay.
But you think about how many
and
characters.
Manon, oh my God, that's no.
By the time you're meeting
that's
those
my
characters,
favorite character.
you're.
She made me question my sexuality for like 5 minutes.
But it's true. You're 4 or 5 characters in, or for pages. Blah, 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 blah. You're 4 or 5 books in by the time you're meeting your favorite characters.
I think everybody loves Manon though. Like I
Everybody does love
seriously think
Manon.
I've ran into like nobody that's ever been like Manon's not my
And
favorite.
for me, in Crescent City, Lydia is my favorite character, and we don't really meet her until book 2.
True.
So like and in Crescent City, you're in book 2, but Crescent City is like 1,000 pages.
I know. I
read
was
book.
like,
so it's not
girl.
like you've read a lot of that story before you even get to your favorite characters. So, anyways, we meet our favorite men, and she learns about kind of Rhys and Cassian and Azriel's history in the Illyrian war camp, how they became these brothers.
I mean, you can
and
be
Feyre-
forged through anything.
It's true, but Feyre's getting this culture shock because she's like, I thought there was only like Tamlin or like only the High Lord that did stuff, and Amren being his second, she's like, wait, like a woman's your second, and then Moore's the third.
Well, because Tamlin's literally like, women don't do shit. Shut the fuck up and sit down.
Well, and
you should be seen, not heard. Like,
yeah, and it's not like Lucian's even like a second in command. He's his friend who also happens to be his emissary. So he uses him to like go talk to other courts.
True.
But that's it.
That's
like
true.
Tamlin is solely himself in everything, and she obviously doesn't know what the other
control
courts are like.
issues.
Yeah. She doesn't know what the other courts are like, but this is very different to what she's used to. And she will kind of learn more of the sacrifices that Rhys made to save his family. She learns about the warding of Valaris and how she communicated to the family and how he became Amarantha's whore in order to protect them and to be able to preserve some of his magic so he could do all of that stuff. So you're getting the inner workings of just how calculated Rhysand is. And I love it. I think Rhysand will go to any depth to protect his family, and I just love that about him.
That's why she married one. She just doesn't know it yet. He's just got a few more years, even though he's mean to me. Just being nice to him. Oh my God, I'm gagging inside. If you ever watch this, just know it's the nicest thing I'm ever going to say to your face.
He says the same stuff to me.
To you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called
No.
me a bitch.
I mean, I get it. My son calls me a bitch too, but usually I deserve
I guess,
it.
to be fair, he's never called me a bitch. Like when we were arguing, it was always as a joke.
No.
So we will meet the bone carver. Who do you think the bone carver would present himself as to you if you met the bone carver? I don't know who he would present as to me.
I don't know. God.
Right?
It's a horrible thought. I was thinking a child would make sense, though, for me.
Do you think you'd have like baby Jonah?
God, I would hope not.
Would just be sitting there looking at you?
I would be fucking creeped the fuck out. I'd be like, please, God, go away. That was my first thought. I don't know. I would think a child would probably make the most sense because I tend to like observe that better than if an adult walked up to me and be like, why are you talking to me? Leave me alone.
Yeah, because so with Rhysand, he sees Jurian, I think, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think he sees Jurian, and then she obviously sees what will be her future child with.
Which freaked me the
Rhys.
fuck out, though, because like knowing the way that she writes, she could end up with a fucking girl, and then he's just fucking with her.
Have you listened to the graphic audio of this
No.
at all? The bone carver is a child's voice, obviously, or not. It's like a guy doing a child's voice, but it's so creepy, Farah.
That's how I picture it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
But so first of all, I want to say that Amren, you know when you have like a little kid and they're scared of stuff, so you like give them a little totem or something to make them brave. So when Feyre tries to go to the prison the first time, she has a panic attack and they can't do it because it's like dark and closed space and going under a mountain type of thing. So she's terrified and has
right.
a
PTSD is real.
reaction.
Like,
understandable. And Rhysand's like, it's okay, we don't have to go. And so they come back and Amren gives her a necklace and is like, this will protect you. Because it's protected me. And so then
it's like a fake fucking, like, it's like a little jewel. It's like, here's your favorite toy. It's going to protect you.
When Feyre brings it back to Amren to thank her for it, Amren's like, thanks, and just like tosses it on the floor. And she's like, this wasn't special? Like,
No,
okay.
it wasn't.
But it reminded me of when I was in elementary, or not when I was in elementary school, but I was in preschool. And I was scared of bees. I'm still scared of bees. I hate bees. I mean, I love bees. Bees are great, but I don't want them around me. But I'm terrified to get stung by a bee.
They're not that painful.
I've never been stung by a bee and I never want to. I'm terrified. I can't believe you did that.
You have no idea. You just go.
I can't believe you just picked them up, shake them, and throw them. That's insane.
I thought I was invincible, Katie. I was a very brave child. I'm not a very brave adult, but I was a very brave child.
Meanwhile, I was at my Montessori preschool, and I wasn't allowed to go play with the other kids because I didn't finish my lunch. I would just sit there and refusing to eat my lunch because I was too scared of the bees. And like, if you opened any food, then they would come just like be near you. And so I was like, no. So then my mom said, hey, if you take this dryer sheet and you rub it on your arms, then the bees will leave you alone. And so every day at lunch, I had a dryer sheet and I would rub it on my arms and then I would eat my food and go away. And then like years later, I was like, Mom, you remember when you did this? Is that even a thing? She's like, no.
Dryer sheets, the post office, they put the postmate person, whatever, I don't know what they call them now. The post person is what I'm going to call them. Mm-hmm. They put a dryer sheet in my mailbox because supposedly it keeps
Oh,
the bees
really?
away. So
Well,
now
maybe
I'm
she was
curious.
onto
So
something.
I'm like, maybe your mom like had some thought and did it. Well, you're saying that, I was like, oh, you rub it on your arms, do you?
Yeah.
Like I was fully like thinking your mom like is so smart. Oh, don't watch
She
this.
was like,
Don't
no.
watch this. I just so you
But
know, I do think you are smart. I thought you were onto something.
I
like,
think no, she was just tricking me, but she might have actually been right. But
dryer sheet's such a weird.
well, it's like, what's an easy, cheap thing you can send your kid with to
Oh
school
my god, I
every
don't know.
day?
Dryer sheets seem expensive to me.
I guess so. She probably put the same dryer sheet in there every day.
Every day, you would tell it's all worn out.
But they go to the bone carver because they need to learn more about where the cauldron is and stuff, and kind of more about like there's been these sackings of temples and priestesses getting her and stuff. Which, by the way, we did learn that Rhysand's been like saving these priestesses and giving them a safe place to live in the library and all this kind of stuff. So more bonus points for Rhysand. And
He needs any more.
he's a good person, good male. But she talks to the carver, and the carver starts asking her questions about death because honestly, the carver's like, I just want to die. I'm so done. But he will carve bones and stuff, and he doesn't want to leave the prison specifically because I believe Koshe, who's his brother, he's convinced is gonna just come kill him, and he's like, I don't need my brother to come kill me. I'm good here. But the thing is, you always give the carver a bone, and he'll like carve your death into bone and stuff. He originally asks for Feyre's bones after she dies, and Rhys is like, I'm not giving that to you. Like, you crazy person. But he gives him I think the bone that's like the one that Feyre killed the Midgard worm with is what he gives him. But when Feyre's talking about when she died, she's talking about how it was totally black, but she felt this tether and this like desire to hang on, and so she pulled on that tether until she was in Rhysand's body, which obviously was a mating bond. We know now, but then they find out where they can get the Book of Breathings and how Jurian could be possibly resurrected with the cauldron and all this kind of stuff. So there's so much stuff happening, but the end of story of this is basically they need to go to the Summer Court, and I love when they go to the Summer Court. I think Tarquin is awesome as a character. I really like him. He's a young High Lord who's only the High Lord because they killed the other High Lord in Under the Mountain, and Rhysand spared him by saying that he didn't know anything about it. So, like, there's so much history with it. But before they even go there, they go to the Weaver. And I was going to tell you this at ACO War, and I'll probably re-say it again, but the Weaver is Striga, who is the Bone Carver's sister, and Rhysand will end up making a bargain with her to help fight in the war, in ACO War. But there's a specific image of Striga when she's looking up at the King of Hybern, smiling really wide, and there's blood dripping down her face. And I don't know why, but I picture you.
I was wondering why she was laughing so hard. I was like, this scene's not all that funny. Like, I was so confused. God, thanks.
I was like, if Star's going to be in this book, I could just see you being Striga.
Oh, my God. And I'm going to reread this and be like, are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know why, but that's just totally like...
Just because I'm vicious, I'm just like, Arr.
I don't know, but it's just that specific image. I could just picture you just being like, let's
That's
fucking
gonna be
go.
that's gonna be my new shirt. Katie's gonna put my face on there with blood dripping down.
It just says
Jeez.
Star is Striga. But when she goes to the Weaver, it's so gross. Like her, when she's up on the roof and it's just like matted hair and like oil of like, so disgusting. But she ends up getting a ring because the whole point was it was a quote unquote test to see if she could find High Lord stuff. And so Rhysand's like, I have a thing in there that I think you should try to get. So she like gets in there, fights off Striga, goes to Rhysand, and he's like, oh, thanks. And it's just a ring. And she's like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's just a ring. And she's like, fuck you, Rhysand.
You were just picking your own ring, honey. Don't you stress?
Yeah. But more, we'll kind of tell her history about the Autumn Court and stuff. Because there's like this weird tension between Mor and Azriel.
I know.
Constantly. And Feyre's like, dude, just fucking go after Azriel. Like, why are you just dragging him along? And she's like, it's not like that. And also, like, I did sleep with Cassian. And then after I slept with Cassian, the Autumn Court returned me with a note nailed into my abdomen that I was like used basically and dirty. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
I know. It was
crazy.
I don't know.
There's so many parts to this because we are building up to ACO War. So like this is all like, okay, setting up the who's going to be on whose side, what's going on. So they need to talk to the Human Queen. So they do go and visit her sisters. They find out Elaine's engaged, and Nesta is very clearly vibing with Cassian, but Nesta's still also being Nesta and is like, get away from me. But there are lots of moments where they're kind of like little bantery with each other, or they're like, he'll be like a comfort to her, even though she doesn't understand why at the time. Reese will train Feyre, and they'll start writing. I love the magical notes they write back and forth to each other. Like, I wish I could do that. Like,
is this the one where they talk to each other, or is this the one?
So Reese can talk into her mind, but she's been shielding, so he can't like always do that. But he'll like drop a piece of paper and a pencil, and it will have like a note he wrote, and then she'll write the note back, and the note will disappear, and then he'll send another
I remember
note
this
back.
now. For some reason, I was like, what? But now I remember it.
I thought that was super cute. I don't understand the magic of it, but I thought it was cute.
The magic of it is to teach her how to read and write.
Well, no, because he taught her how to write by just having her copy sentences, which were like, Rhysand is blah, blah, blah. Rhysand is the most cunning High Lord. Rhysand is whatever. And that was kind of her initial. And then she was like reading books and like all that kind of stuff too. So they have an encounter with the Adder because Reese uses Feyre as bait for the Adder.
I fucking like the Adder though.
The Adder
I know
is
I'm
so
a
creepy.
sicko, but I like the Adder.
The guy who does the Adder's voice is also oh my gosh, for the graphic audio, I think it's not General Melgren, it's Professor Kaori in Fourth Wing. It's the same guy who does the Adder's voice. And every time I'm like, Professor
Poor guy's
Kaori.
never gonna be able to get out of that. He's gonna always be the like.
He's the
you know,
Adder.
like when they
Professor
cast
Kaori.
you only in like a certain box.
Well, that was like I said before, I get so thrown off when I do the graphic audios of this because I did graphic audios of Fourth Wing first. So when Xaden starts talking to me, but he's Lucian, I'm like, why are you hot? Why do I like your voice?
I forgot about that.
Gabriel Michael was like, every time he speaks, I'm just like, oh, keep talking. Keep talking. It's like him and Anthony Palmini. I'm just like, you can say whatever you want to me. That's fine. But yeah, Reese, they use her as bait, and then they add her, they like torture her and get information out of, and then they send him back to Highburn as like a warning, basically. And then Feyre figures out she can winnow because she's like chasing, Reese is like winnowing like feet away from her, and then she ends up winnowing and tackling him to the ground. And then we get our cute little like,
which is that cute little like, yeah, like the little wrestling scene,
Yeah.
like, ooh,
and
no,
then
don't tackle me. My favorite is like, oh, I'm so fragile.
before they go to the summer court, I call this section bonding in Valaris because they're just kind of like skipping around Valaris and like talking about the Court of Dreams, and that's why there's like
Now
the
I'm
difference.
picturing them like in Mary Poppins where they're like down the little thingy. You know what I'm talking about? Like where he's like, I don't remember the song he sings. The Chimney
the
Sweep.
rainbow.
Is that what it is? The Chimney Sweep when he's like,
Oh yeah.
when he's like literally skipping down the thing and she starts skipping with him.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh,
God.
it's my favorite movie as a kid. Why can't I remember that name? Ain't it a glorious day? Bright as a morning.
I know,
in
my
May.
brain was like, I could picture
feel
the song.
Like I could. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Jolly holiday.
I like how she was like, give me a second, I'll get there.
I'm like, I can see.
I can picture it, but the
I
words
can see
were
Dick
like,
Van Dyke dancing with
yeah,
the penguins.
This is my thought. And he's like, I was picturing it, but I was like, I don't remember the song.
I can see him with the cane, like swinging
Yes.
it. All of it.
This is how they were going down Valaris.
Just right through the rainbow.
Where's the penguins? Where's the penguins? We're saying, we're saying we need the penguins.
It's just Amryn. So Feyre sends a note to Tamlin and is like, hey, I'm safe. Leave me alone. Please don't try to contact me. And Rhysand also, while they're walking through the rainbow, when they're in the artist quarter, she will hear the song that Rhysand sent her.
See?
And she's like, you sent that to me. And first of all, I'm like, she was hallucinating and she was really sick. So like, I get that maybe she was like, I don't know where the song is coming from, but it's beautiful. And my mind's just making stuff up to make me like deal with this trauma and the fact that I like want to die.
Isn't that like exactly what your brain would do?
I guess. But she's just like, why would Rhysand send this to me? And I'm just like, oh, girl, you are in for it coming up. She basically tells Rhysand that she's really frustrated how much she sacrificed for love only to be met with like the abuse that Tamlin gave her.
She's a baby and she hadn't been in a relationship before, so sometimes that's how it goes. This
Pretty
is how I'm
much.
gonna like.
She's like,
not all of us end up like that. I have plenty of friends that were like high school sweethearts that are still together.
Well, and it like this hit me on a reread because I was thinking about like when I was in my last relationship before I was with my husband, and he was a narcissist and abusive. But I was old enough. I wasn't like super old. I was in my early 20s still, but I was kind of sitting there like, is my time running out and I'm not going to find the person I want? I don't want to redo this again. Like I've been with this person for long enough. I don't want to start dating again.
That's a societal
I don't want to start all of
thing.
this stuff. It totally is. But I had like a plan for my life of when I wanted to have kids, when I wanted to be married, all this kind of stuff. And so when it was becoming clear that this person was not who I wanted to be with, I still was like fighting it. And Feyre is kind of doing the same thing where she's like, I think I would have just gone with anybody who showed me like an ounce of kindness, because she was in such a bad situation that she was like, I was already there. I was already comfortable. So why would I try to go seek something else out and go into the unknown? And I was just like, this just like hits too hard. She's like, I just feel like an idiot because I was just going with it. I feel
not
that.
all, but I think a good chunk of women do the exact same thing.
And Rhysand is like, I looked at Tamlin, who's supposed to be so in love with you and so distraught, and he finally gets a chance with you in Under the Mountain to be alone with you. And the first thing he does is try to fuck you when he could have tried to get you out. And I was like, oh my God. And that hits home for Feyre too, because she's like, you're right. I was just like too like set in, I finally have time with Tamlin. I didn't even think about the fact that he wasn't thinking about what he could do to help me, except he was just sitting there. I had to stay silent because it would have made things worse. And it's like Rhysand was doing everything he could while also still playing his part, and he still made it better for her while she was under the mountain. Rhys will comfort her while she's having a nightmare, and he's like, I have nightmares too. And I always remember like Amarantha. And the hardest ones, the one that he won't talk about, is when Amarantha was writing him. That was always like the hardest nightmares for him, which will come back later in chapter 55.
I'm not saying anything, but there was a guy that does this, and he was just like, I didn't know that like I liked reading porn. And like I was like, what? And he was like, well, these chapters. And I was just like, I like reading porn. And I was like, where's your wife?
Not porn.
Where's your wife? Why is she not hitting you in the back of the head? Like, no, he literally does like a 20-minute tangent on like one of his things. It's not 20 minutes, but it's like a long tangent about, he's like, did you read this? Have you read this? Like, and he's like, literally like, and I was like, where's your wife? Where's your wife? She just hit you. Like,
oh my gosh.
I'm sure some woman handed you this book because there's no way you picked it up on your own.
The whole thing that reading smut is porn thing is so fucking ridiculous. It's like not even funny. Like,
I mean, it's a guy speaking though. Like to them, it is. Like for women, it's like the perfect amount of everything. But
yeah, but is it porn if you're watching a movie and there's a sex scene going on?
My brain's like, logically, yes.
But there's no actual sex happening.
No, but
there is sex happening in this, but this is not real.
No,
and again, you have
but
to have
my brain is like
descriptions 'cause
logically like yes, only because if you ever think about like porn is like, hey, I'm the pizza man, threw the pizza away, let's have sex. Like I don't know why. Like it's like some weird story that doesn't make any sense. Like you're like, I'm the plumber. Did I call you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my brain's like, logically, if we're going in the theory that there's a story and then there's sex and then there's a story, then yes. If we're going in this, if we're going just full penetration, then no. Like it really depends on like.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's only 3 o'clock.
I guess the argument can be had, but I still don't think it's considered porn.
It's just funny. It depends on how you're looking at it.
Well, and here's because the only reason I say that is that smut is different than erotica.
I agree with you. I just thought it was funny that if we were to put it in a logical sense, porn is a story. They bang.
Does it always have a story? Or is it just like they're banging?
Porn has to have a story. That's what makes it porn.
I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you.
I think there's plenty of videos that don't have.
No, but then that's not, at that point, that's just pure fucking,
You're just
like,
watching
fucking.
people have
You're
sex.
just watching people have sex.
But
there's that whole, like, hey, baby, I walked up to your house and I rang the doorbell and now we're fucking. There's got to be, like, a beginning part of it. Think about it. There's always, like, and then if you're just fucking,
Not
then
really,
you're just.
because I think
then
there
there's
are
that porn.
There's plenty of videos that are. I think the thing that makes it porn is the fact that they are actually fucking and you're watching people fucking. I think that's what makes it porn. I don't think that the fact that it actually had a scene in it, just because that might be the kind of porn you like.
I don't really watch porn. I'm just saying, like, an experience of watching like TV and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a whole joke on like the fact that he always walks up with like a pizza and rings the doorbell, and she's like half naked, and
Because
then
I think
all of a sudden the pizza's gone and you don't know where the pizza went, and then they're in the bedroom.
I think that's a lot of porn scenes though, but I think porn trying to appeal to women will have more of a story than men who will just watch fucking.
Maybe that's what it is, but maybe that's why we like smut, and that's like where they're
That's
like.
the thing is that like I'm like okay,
But now are we just getting like semantics with the words here?
If you think about how long it takes us to get to chapter 54 and chapter 55, we're like 3/4 of the way into this book before we have any fucking. We have her fucking with Tamlin.
I just thought it was funny that you're upset about something that's. I'm over here trying to explain something, and I'm like, I don't really give a shit,
You're
Katie.
like 6'7"?
This is like the worst conversation ever. I just realized 6'7" as I was doing it. I'm just saying, I don't personally care. Porn, corn,
Whatever.
erotica, smut, they're all the same at the end of the day. Somebody's saying, put your big cock in my pussy, which, by the way, I don't know why. I think that's what makes me pull out of the story. It's like, oh, and then he slid down my slick slit. And I'm like, why? Why? I know you're trying to describe something, but my brain's like, ugh! Like, why are we there? Ugh! Like, it's like, I don't know why, but the description is what kills it for me.
You know, you and I are going to talk about Leather and Lark later, and there's some stuff in it that I don't personally usually find attractive, but when that narrator says it, I'm like, I was like, I had to turn it off the other day. I was in there like, oh my God.
Were you at work?
No, I was at home.
Because I've been at work before, crossing my legs, talking about, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
1 second.
Like, stop talking to me.
Anthony Palmini's talking. Give me a second.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Teddy Hamilton said my name.
So, they go to the summer court and they're getting the one half of the Book of Breathings. We'll get a lot of them talking with Tarquin and Cressida. And we'll get this jealousy with Rhysand and Feyre, which I love because Feyre's starting to be like, I want him. And that makes me uncomfortable because she feels like part of it is like, well, I just went after the first guy that was nice to me. So I don't want to do that again. Also, am I betraying Tamlin, which fuck Tamlin, but am I betraying Tamlin by just switching to having a new partner, basically, and being interested in somebody else? And
I mean, she is young. I guess, like, plus a lot of people don't like the idea of, like, cheating and/or being, like, what we would consider, like.
But she's already broke it off with Tamlin.
You know. But
like,
it's pretty quick if you think about it. Like,
it was,
it's not even been hours at this point.
It's been a few
like,
months at this point. But
she was kidnapped on her wedding day.
Honestly, by the time stuff really happens with her, but I think by the time we're in ACOWAR, we're at almost a year since everything's happened with her leaving Tamlin. So, like, it's quite a bit's happened at this point. But we get to see that Tarquin's actually like a really cool guy. And I like Tarquin a lot. So it kind of sucks to watch this betrayal happen for Tarquin. And Rhysand feels the same way because he's like, I do really like him and I think he could be a good ally. And I hate that this is how we had to do this. Again, we have that jealousy thing. And Feyre will say, like, I think somebody would be very lucky to be with you or something like that to Tarquin. Yeah. And she smiles at him. And Rhysand hates that because he's like, you've never smiled at me like that. Like, you've never given me like a full, genuine, happy smile. And it's just like wrecks him that's just, she's starting to kind of wake up a little bit, I guess. The light's coming back into her. And when they prep to go, because Feyre had to go like try to figure out where the book was, and they found it was in that temple that they could only get out to see in. And he's getting her ready, and she's like, if Amren's your second and Cassian's your general, then what am I to you? And he says, you are my salvation, Feyre. And I'm like, ah!
Feyre's like, excuse me?
He's putting a thigh holster on her, so she's very okay with whatever he says at this point.
Yes, because now she's actually like getting to be like a person and not like, well, I guess she's Faye, but you know what I mean? Like,
well, and
she's not being put in a corner and being told, shut up, baby.
Well, I think she actually asks if she could buy something, and he's like, I pay you for all your services. You have an account in Belarus, and also like we have a tab at a bunch of the places. Like, you can just buy whatever you want. Like, you are a full-blown individual. You are allowed to have your own life. And I really like that about him because no matter how much, that mating bond is fighting on him, and he wants to have this like animalistic instinct to protect her and like hold
when you
on to
said that,
her.
my brain was like, ah.
Yeah, right.
Like maybe that's why
Just
you picture
bite
me. Maybe that's why you picture blood coming out. I'm like, ah. Like I fully was like biting her neck and fucking giving her a nasty hickey. I don't know where my brain went on that one. Just animalistic, and my brain was like, oh my God.
But one of
I'm a vampire over here.
Yeah. So they end up with blood rubies because they've betrayed the summer court. And one thing I do want to point out is that a water wraith saves them because of the kindness that she showed one of her sisters. So I love that about SJM books is that kindness always trickles down and causes some benefit later.
Yes, you should always pay it forward.
Throne of Glass is like the biggest one out of all of them. Is like everything that Selena ever did to being, Aelin, it comes into Kingdom of Ash, and we'll see that with the water race is like a small thing that like Feyre did one nice thing and it trickled down to help something later. So I really like that as a through line through all of SJM's books. But
I know I'm curious what Crescent City is gonna like burst into.
And I love that after they get the blood rubies and Rhysand's all upset about this, that that Feyre feels the need to come comfort him. And she's like making jokes about how, Tarquin just loved me so much. Maybe I'll send him some lacy underthings. And then she's like, and I'll take you there and I'll try on some of this. She's like, there's a really nice red set. Maybe I'll try some on for you. And so once Azriel shows up to brief Rhysand and kind of like breaks the tension between them, she's like walking downstairs and she's like got this vision of them where she's like putting on the red lace. And then she walks over and goes to straddle Rhysand and she slams into the stairwell railing. And she's like, oh my God, he just projected that into my mind. She's like, fuck you, dude. Like,
I don't know. I loved it. I was like,
great.
That's 100% like a great, you're telling me, I don't know. Especially when you run into something, you're just like, oh shit, like back to the worlds.
Oh, and then this is where we get Rhysand's nightmare. And Rhysand is fully naked, which I don't know how you resist that. When you walk in, it's like, I would have been like, do you need a cuddle?
Oh my God.
You just want a warm body nearby. But he has the tattoos in the mountains with the 3 stars. And she'll later ask him what the tattoos are for. And it means he'll bow for no one and nothing but his crown. And later that will mean also Feyre, because she will be his crown as well.
Like you just made eye contact with me. Katie made eye contact. And I was just like, we're not friends, Katie. We're not friends.
She's like, I get it. You like Rhysand.
No, but it wasn't even my thought. My thought was, no, Katie, we're not friends. Okay? Not friends. God. I'm
just like, oh my God. With the Mortal Queens they meet with first, and the Mortal Queens were like, we need to see evidence that you're going to be supporting us. And then that's when Mor's like, oh, get the Veritas. And then one of the hottest things that happens in this book for me is the Court of Nightmares.
Oh my God.
When Feyre, he basically is like, look, I don't want to bring you here, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. And he's like, I have a part to play. I am the like dark
This is
High
when
Lord.
They like play. Oh, I forgot about the scene.
I love this scene. It is so hot as a graphic audio. I have to say,
really?
It's so hot as a graphic audio. But they basically show up and she is pretending to be his whore, just kind of like mirroring what she did on the mountain. And but she's like sitting in his lap and stuff, and she's a distraction for while Mor goes and gets the Veritas, which is their like orb of truth. And so, which again, Mor's power is truth, and I don't understand what that is. So I'm hoping we're gonna find out what that is later on. But so this is so hot, this whole scene, but it's really sad because like she's obviously getting turned on. She can tell he's turned on. They're both like very into this. Like they're just like touching
come on, dude.
each
Like
other.
you're seriously like swaying it around and being sexy, and like it's like going out to a nightclub and not expecting to be like.
She's in pretty much nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And she's sitting on his lap, and he's just like stroking her legs.
Oh, I know.
And stuff. And I'm just,
It's
I'm like
just, like,
kissing
how do
her
you
neck,
not,
and I'm just
like-
like, oh my God, yes, I will do whatever you want, Rhysand. Sorry. So she's doing this, and what was really sad though is that there is a part where Rhysand's hand goes a bit higher, and she's like, "Oh God, he's
I'm gonna tell you right now." Even I was like, "Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!"
And she's like, "Oh no, he's gonna." And so he feels that she's aroused, and he says, "Don't worry, it's just your body reacting." And it's so sad because you realize that in all reality, that's what he would tell himself every night he had to sleep with Amarantha.
I didn't think about that. That is not. It's rapey.
It is.
I'm just. But that's not what is happening in the scene.
No, it's
but
not.
like that other scene,
Yeah.
all of a sudden my brain went like, oh my God, I didn't think about that.
Because what was happening with Amarantha was...
No, and I get it. Oh my God, I don't want to think about it.
So that
Poor
just
guy.
makes me so sad for Reese.
Ugh.
And then when they get back, he's like, I'm sorry, I should have never taken you to that. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. I didn't want to put you in that position. And Feyre actually gets really mad at him and is like, I went there willingly. I knew what I was going to do. And she even tells him while she's sitting on his lap, like, I see you, I see all of you, and I'm not scared of you. Like, it's totally fine. And then she's like getting all upset, and Rhysand's like, at some point you have to stop comparing me to Tamlin because we're not the same. Because she's like, you want to lock me up and do all this stuff. He's like, I've never done that to you. And at some point you have to realize I'm not Tamlin.
Hey, but it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Like, we both know that when you come out of a fucking horrible relationship, when you go into the next one, you're like, fight or flight is just
It's
like,
true.
and like the other person's like, man, you fucked her up. Now I got to sit here and put up with this bullshit.
That's exactly what happened to my poor husband. I
I
came out of
know.
that narcissistic relationship, and there were a lot of things I had to change. And not necessarily that he wanted to change me, but how I interacted in a relationship in terms of like healthy communication, all that kind of stuff was really like he sat with me and held my hand while I worked through the fact that I got really angry really easily, and it wasn't always like reasonable. And so he would be patient with me when it happened, and that's what Rhysand does. He's like,
I know,
listen,
but it's
like,
still hard at being the person that's like being screamed at
No,
when you're like,
and that's
when you're
like-
like, you're fucking projecting, and I just get to sit here and take it.
and that's, but he still has
I mean,
to sit there
there's
and
a part
take
of
it.
you at a certain point that's like, I can't take it anymore. But
Yeah. Well, and then he's honest with her. He's like, you can't keep doing this.
No.
Like, I'm here for you. I've done nothing but support you. And at some point, you have to realize I'm not that person. And then they go a few days without talking, and then it's Starfall. And I want Feyre's Starfall dress so bad. This is like, there's so many beautiful moments in this book. They're just so
many.
good.
Like, I was like, your birthday party was fucking amazing, and I had the greatest time dressing up. But oh my God, my new dress, my mom's at my house, and I'm like, maybe I want the sides taken up. Like, so like it would be like, it would drop as like a V on both sides, but it would be up on my hips.
Yeah.
But the length would be on the front and the back.
Oh.
And my mom's like, I could do that. And
That'd
I'm
be
like,
cool.
but I'm like, is that too sexy? Like, if we go to like a thing, like,
Oh.
but then would I put like a leg strap with like a fucking blade or something in
Dude,
it? Like,
we
girl,
need-
I'm like, I can get real. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I want to do it.
we need Aimless Attention to blow up, and then we could throw our own Starfall ball.
Oh my God, dude. I'm telling you, I would.
Please, if you are in the Pacific Northwest, if you would like to have a Starfall
Dude,
ball,
I'm telling
we
you.
would do everything, like all
So
the
much fun.
things.
So
I
much
just
fun.
like blow up Aimless Attention. Get
For
us
reals.
to the point where we could do
We
that.
would totally, we would even podcast on it. We would
Yeah,
air that
it'd be
shit.
so
I'm telling
fucking
you,
good.
people would love it. Oh, yeah. I totally know what you're talking about, dude. I think we should almost just do it just for fucking fun.
We should.
Just friggin' rent out something and do it.
And
I bet you could probably get people to show up with how many people I know. I'd be like,
seriously, I just have to have money to do it.
your mom would be like, I hate you both. Because you know she'd be over there like, okay.
Yeah, Mom wanted to plan everything. We're all like, we got all these ideas, and she's like, fuck, okay, I guess I get to do it.
That's literally what she sounds like every time. I'm like, oh my God, Jennifer, I have an idea. She just looks at me like, oh my God, I got another Katie.
She's like, I have two of them now. This is horrible. But Starfall is this migration of spirits in the sky, and there are less spirits coming every year, which is interesting. They don't know why, but we will get another. Starfall is going to be key in Silver Flames because it will connect to Kingdom of Ash when not Feyre, but Aelin falls through the worlds, and Rhys will catch her on Starfall, which is during Silver Flames time. So we'll talk about it when we get to Silver Flames. But
know.
Starfall is something that will come back, and I honestly could just live in Starfall all the time.
You know. Oh God,
And
right?
Reese tells her about how
I think even like my mom when she read this was like, this is the fucking greatest thing
so
ever.
good. And when he talks about how Starfall's still really hard for him because she's like, why aren't you with your friends? And he's like, it's the night that Amarantha made me service her longest because she knew how important it was to me. And I'm just like, ugh, it's just so awful.
I know, she's such a horrible person. Just ugh.
Yeah, and they both get like smacked in the face with spirit dust, and she paints for the first time on his hand. Then they dance all night, and she kind of brings him back to a happy place in Starfall. So I just love watching them heal together. Like, I think that's so special and heartwarming. Then we'll go to the Illyrian camp. We learn about how they're trying to train females and the blood rite, which will be key for when we get to Silver Flames. The blood rite is going to be super important. So we'll kind of breeze past it here. But she will be training in the woods, and Lucian shows up and tries to corner her to take her back to the Spring Court. She basically tells him to fuck off. She forms Illyrian wings and is like, never come back here again. She's not going to ever be a High Lord's pet.
I mean, he was just doing what his master told him to do. I can't stand fucking Tamlin, but I swear to God, he just thinks everybody's his bitch.
It's true.
Like, even your friend is your bitch. There's no love relationship there. That's seriously, what did I tell you to go do? Go do it. Like, that's not a friend. That's a fucking master.
It's true. Then Rhys is like, I can't use magic to take us to Winnow because they're obviously tracking my magic. So then they go to a nearby town, and they go to an inn, and there's only one bed at the inn. And Rhys Sand can't fold down his wings. We have learned that the wings are very sensitive, and she's not supposed to touch them because he's about to full body orgasm and never gets
I know, but I was thinking about that. I was like, are we going to talk about that?
So they're in very close quarters in their little attic in the inn, and she's like freezing, and he's like, it's just body heat, don't worry. And then he's kind of like touching her a little bit, and then she's kind of like grinding her butt into him, and he's like, what do you want, Feyre? And,
I mean, come on, dude. You're acting like you don't want him, but then you're fully grinding him.
And she's like, I want fun. I want a distraction. And he's like, then let me distract you. So then he fingers her, and she tries to turn around and touch him, and he's like, no. And then they do end up kissing. And then he's like, I'm not having sex with you until like I can properly bed you, when I can put my wings away and all that kind of stuff. That is another thing, though. She had asked if he'd ever had sex with the wings, and he says he's never had sex with his wings out. So that is a major vulnerability. That first of all, he's touching someone with his wings out. And this is also painful for Rhys because he's like, I want to be with her.
Because he fucking loves her and is like, you're a stupid bitch and I want to hit you. Not meanly. I want to just knock some sense into you, guess would be better words.
And the next day they're flying back, and that's when he gets shot down with the poisoned ash arrows. She is able to winnow him. He gets like taken, she throws her, and so then she like gets down and she goes and finds him in this cave that he's strung up in, and she just goes ballistic. She's so upset to see him in that vulnerable state. She kills everybody in that cave. Then she's able to winnow him to a cave that she remembers seeing when they were in the forest, and she like gets the arrows out, and that's when she tells the story about how she painted the dressers, which is foreshadowing of the three sisters as well. So I'm really excited to see what happens with Elaine. That's kind of to comfort him. And then she goes and tracks the Suriel. And I
kind of like the Suriel. It's like a weird, I don't know. Every time it like answers, it's like really like cryptic-y shit.
I love the Suriel. And also props to SJM for making this really freaky creature so devastating to lose in ACO War. So she meets the Suriel, and the Suriel had told her in the last book to stay with the High Lord. And she's like, I stayed with the High Lord. And then she was like, I realized that was the wrong High Lord. And so then she was like, now I'm staying with the right one. This is right. And then she is like, how do I cure the poison? And he's like, oh, give him some of your blood, because she's got some of the other High Lord's blood for healing. And then tells her where to find the plant. But he's like, oh, to cure your mate, find this. And she's like, wait, back up. What do you mean? And he's like, your mate. The High Lord of the Night Court's your mate, you dumb bitch.
I know. I just loved it though, because he's like been trying to tell her without telling her, and then the Suriel's like, how fucking stupid are you?
The Suriel's like, you eat and you sleep, and you're really happy with him, and you're attracted to him. What else did you need, bitch? I told you to stay with the High Lord.
Somebody to tell me, obviously.
So she goes back, and she's like, eat the plant. And he's like, okay. And he like chews on the plant. She's like, when were you going to tell me you were mates? And he's like, well, I was trying to tell you earlier, and then we got shot down by Ash Arrow.
What I fucking can't, this is the only thing I can't stand about these books, is how does he always know and she doesn't? Like, you're going to tell me that she's that, like, why are you making all these women naive as fuck?
Yeah. I
want a woman to know and a man not to know for one time.
My thing, I think, with why it makes sense in this setting is only because she was a human where mates wouldn't be a thing. So she doesn't understand that this isn't just a normal attraction she feels, that it just, because like she's like been in love with Tamlin, but she did have this weird pull to Rhysand, even in ACOTAR. But that there is this weird thing where the mating bond snaps into place. And I don't know what causes a mating bond to snap into place, because she kept talking about in the beginning of ACOMAF, they're just waiting for it to snap into place because they have to be mates. And it's like, why does it take a while? Like, what makes it snap into place is my question. Because it snaps into place for Rhysand when they're in the end of ACOTAR and they're standing on that balcony talking to each other.
Is this when they realize, is it snapping into place when they realize that they love each other?
No, I don't know. Because he says he fell in love with her under the mountain.
Because men always fall in love first. That's why.
That's true. Psychology says they do as well. But I don't know. Because he said he thinks he fell in love with her. Like she'll say this in chapter 55, like when she threw the Middengard worms, or she threw the boat when she killed the Middengard worm at Amarantha like a javelin. He's like, I just felt Cassian there. And she was like, so you like wanted to marry me because I reminded you of Cassian? He's like, no, because you were one of us.
I don't know why that's just. I just picture him like Cassian. I don't know why Cassian. I don't know why that was just too funny to me. My brain's like,
big ass.
what the fuck? I mean, I take Cassian. I get it, Nesta. You get that shit. I don't know.
But yeah, she's obviously mad. He's healed up enough and he can winnow them. She drops his ass in the snow and is like, Moore, take me somewhere else. And she's like, okay. So she goes to the cabin. I also love
this. Also should be your indication that he loves you, because he lets you abuse him, run away like a little bitch, and then come back and is still like, I still love you.
She spends all of this time in this mountain cabin painting, going through drawers and like digging through their stuff. She paints like every surface she possibly can. I understand they love her, but I still love the fact that people have this theory that she actually can't paint and it's like a kindergartner.
Shut the fuck up.
And then they're all like, oh, Feyre, it looks so good.
I picture like real good painting. That's the fucked up part.
I think that's probably what it is. But could you imagine you just like show up and the entire cabin's painted and it's like a kindergartner painted the whole thing? You're like, oh, good job, buddy. You did amazing.
No, that's terrible.
But she spends a bunch
People
of time.
People are really mean to Farrah. I did not hear this before. That's cold. Like my brain is now like, that poor Farrah. Why are we picking on her?
So she spends a bunch of time up there. Moore finally comes up and is like, are you gonna be mad at him forever? And she's like, no, like I get it. and then we go into part 3, which is the House of Mist. And this is chapter 54, chapter 55. I love these. So chapter 54 is an entire chapter long love confession from Rhysand, because she offers to make him food. And he's like, well, if I eat food you give me, then you're accepting the mating bond. So she's like, tell me everything, and then I will decide if I'm going to give you this food.
Okay, so I need to remember not to feed anybody. This is how this works.
You're like, I am not accepting a mating bond.
You feed him and it automatically, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, is automatic.
Just traditionally. When a mate offers another mate food, it is a female offers their mate food. It's a big deal. And
this is why you don't ever cook for your husband. You're just like, eh.
I do cook. That's it. Like my daughter goes, me say you.
Me say you, not you.
Like
me
this.
say you.
Me say you like this. You.
I can't wait till she grows up and she's a fucking like, she's gonna be like a freaking like, what, I don't know what's her name, like Jennifer Aniston and shit. She's gonna be some popular fucking, and one day we're gonna be fucking, you remember that podcast?
So we get this love confession, and then she says, then eat up. And she's like, I love you too, Rhysand, and I'm so very grateful to be your mate, or something like that. And then we get the best paint-covered bang session to ever exist in literature. They fuck on every surface possible. And Feyre notices during the time that they're having sex that he very specifically finishes with her on top of him, riding him, because he's replacing that memory of Amarantha.
What did Kitty say?
They hang out in that mountain cabin for a few days until they like have to get back to reality.
Because she kindergarten painted with her fingers all over the walls. He had to repicture that shit with some fucking juices. He was like, we gotta cover this up. I just picture like him being like, oh my god.
Getting rid of everything. He's like, could you just close your eyes for a
Just
second.
close your eyes for 1 second. Let my big dick just hit the wall real quick.
Ew. So they have the meeting with the human queens. They show them Valaris, and they're all like, "Yeah, fuck you. Thanks for showing us that." And then the Golden Queen does leave the Book of Breathings for them, the other half of it. And then back in Valaris, they get attacked by Hybern because the human queen sold them out, and the adder and everything happens. I think Feyre defends the rainbow during this time, and Rhys is like so grateful that she's defending his home. And then they prep to go to Hybern. They go back to the townhouse, and Rhys is following me to my room. And then he's like, well, you got to pick which room we're going to stay in because we're not going to sleep in separate rooms.
I love this. This one was so funny to me because she was just like what the fuck is he talking about? Like, but I don't know how she didn't like.
Because Tamlin and her slept in different rooms. So she thought that was what again, Rhysand is shattering everything she thinks she knows about High Lords. I know.
Unless you snore too much, bitch, and I can't handle your snoring. Get in here.
I think there's plenty of people that have different rooms, and it was also more common like in old times that you would have a different room than your husband. But he's like, why would I want to be separated from you? You're my mate. Like, in what world do I want to spend less time with you by having a different room? So she ended up
think
picking
people
his
do
room.
different rooms. Like I was telling my friend this the other day, we were talking about it. Okay. You ever sleep with somebody and they're just really fucking annoying to sleep with, but you really need sleep? Sometimes being in a separate room is a fucking amazing because you actually can sleep. Okay. Like sometimes you're a real bitch if you don't get enough, like 6 hours might not be enough.
Sure.
Right. So I know that's why a lot of people get king size beds because then it's almost like you're on your own separate bed.
Yeah.
Then you can come together in the middle.
Well,
I feel like sometimes if you have separate rooms, sometimes it gives you the anonymity to be able to like sleep, and then you can still. But in their situation, I was just like you're like the dumbest broad I've ever met. Like
I think also
plus who doesn't want to fucking cuddle with his wings around them? Like I don't know,
God.
girl. I
would
picture like
I want Rhysand to touch
come
me
here,
in any
daddy.
way.
This is my first introduction to a real daddy.
My husband's just got to be like, I'm just
hear
like,
us? Can you hear us? Is he like, that bitch said daddy like 10 times, Katie?
No, I'm just like, Rhysand can touch me in any way he wants.
I just picture him turning off. Turn off the light. Shh, Katie. Here, I'll put on. Like,
No. I tried to be like, hey, could you just like read this one? At one point, I was like, what we should do is get some paint. And he was
I just fucked my microphone right up. I just, as I was laughing. So sorry, everybody. Hopefully Katie can just.
I was like, it'd be really fun. We should get some paint. And he's like, that sounds so messy. And I was like, it sounds so fun.
Katie's like, I just want to put it on the bed, like with like a thing, and we just roll around in it, and we can put it on the wall, and nobody ever has to know what we were doing. I would know. I would walk in your house and be like,
that was your fuck canvas, wasn't
oh my God. Your mom would be like, I'm down. I'm out. Don't ever call me again.
That's your fuck painting.
I'm never coming over. You can come to my house. Your dad would be like, oh my God, Katie, I know too much about you.
Oh my gosh.
We're an open family, but this is too much, Katie.
This episode's gone on way longer than I anticipated.
This episode
but it isn't fun.
It's hard.
So they're prepping for Hybern, and they discuss if they're going to get married or have a mating ceremony, all this kind of stuff. And then Rhysand says, I have a better idea. And this is, we will find out later, the ceremony where she is being named his High Lady, which is huge because she's the first High Lady ever in Prythian's history. When they get to Hybern, they do locate the cauldron. Feyre almost dies trying to put the two halves. She puts the two halves of the book together after Amren was like, never ever put the two halves together. And the book's like, put us together, Feyre.
In the podcast, in the audio, it's like, Farrah, put us together. It's like creepy. It's like, Farrah. I don't know who does the voice, but it's creepy. It gives you nightmares.
Yeah, the graphic audio is really, it's creepy.
It's not as bad as that one fucking book we read where it was like multiple names or multiple, we're speaking fucking Quicksilver. But like in the thing, it's like multiple names, and then we're talking at the same time, and you're like, oh my fucking God.
I know. So Jurian shows up and interrupts this, and then Rhysand ends up getting the Book of Breathings, hiding it, and Cassian's wings get shredded. Azrael gets shot with a poison arrow. Like, it is not looking good. And then walks in the motherfucker himself, Tamlin, along with Lucien. We also see, because the human queens are aligned with Hybern, they're like, cool, we're going to get turned into Fae, because that's It's crazy. They want to be young forever is their thing. Oh, it's also weird. The queens can winnow. That's just like a side thing. Anyways.
I know it was. I'm hoping there's more to come of that like later, and we just don't know it yet.
They were like gifted it or something. I was like, how are they gifted? I don't know. Both Elaine and Nesta get turned into Fae, and Nesta takes something from the cauldron. She fought the cauldron when she went in. And then the cauldron's pissed. So then they put the first queen in, and she becomes a weathered hag, or a weathered crone, I guess is what they call her. But while this is going on, there's this back and forth of how Tamlin's like, just come back with me, Feyre, blah, blah, blah. And then Feyre's like, the only way I'm going to get my sisters safe is if I go with him. So she manages to use her curse breaking ability, and she breaks through the wards that have been placed on them to dampen all their powers and stuff. She tries to communicate to Rhys, like, take my sisters, get them safe. And then she pretends that
she's in love with him. Oh my God.
She pretends that like, oh, she was under the spell by Rhys, and then she like breaks away and then asks the King of Hybern to break the bond, which he breaks the bargain that they had made under the mountain. And Rhys like figures it out and plays along with her. And it's just heartbreaking when you get back to the Spring Court, because like Rhys ends up taking her sisters and gets everybody out of there, and she goes with Tamlin. And when they arrive back in Valaris, Amren's like, where is she? And he says, Feyre is Feyre is now a spy.
I have to be honest. I didn't catch that she was a spy. I thought she fully went back like intentionally to like be with him. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Mm-hmm. So I was really mad. And I figured it out, like, obviously, but sometimes my brain does not keep up with
Rhys drops the Feyre is High Lady of the Night Court. And they're like, she's your High Lady? And then they're like, what? And then he's like, and she's a spy in the Night Court. And he's like, she's your High Lady, not your spy. Go get her. And he's like, no, like she needs to be there.
Yeah.
And then basically we get to Feyre's POV at the end of this book, and she's like, now a wolf is in the Spring Court, and he's going to like tear it down. And I'm like, hell yeah, Feyre.
It just was like, I don't know. It was a weird, the big bad wolf came back around.
The big bad wolf is a different wolf now. What would you rate ACOMAF?
Oh, I don't remember what I rated this one. I think it was 5 because I actually did like this one, but I rate everything 5.
It's so fun. This is a 6-star read for me easily. I love this book. This is honestly, Throne of Glass, my favorite series of all time. This is my favorite book of all time. I can re-listen to ACOMAF, reread ACOMAF over and over and over again, and I still love it. So good. That was our coverage of ACOMAF. We are going to continue the rest of our SJM coverage for the rest of the year, including the 2 new releases that are coming out in October and January. So stick with us and you'll get some more SJM content. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to throw up a slide so you can see where you can follow us on social media, and we will see you in the next one.